If you want to start a garden and grow more of your own food, I have one piece of advice for you. Do it now. This is actually the first video in a series called Do It Now. We're gonna try to post a Do It Now video about once a week. We're gonna show you a project that we've selected that you can do usually in a day, and all you need is a small piece of ground to do it. We'd invite you to do these projects with us, and then week by week we'll look back and show you the projects we've done and how they're progressing. One of my favorite books is called You Can Farm. It's by Joel Salatin. He's one of my farming heroes. In fact, he is my farming hero. He lives in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, and he's pioneered multiple models for small farmers to actually make a living on farming. In the book, he says, do it now. Start now. If you're not doing it now, if you don't want to do it now, you probably will never do it. So today I'm going to show you one thing you can do now, today, or this week to get ready for your garden next year. I'll put a link below this video where you can find his book if you want to buy it and read it. I highly recommend all of his books. So we are doing it now. We're getting ready for next year's big projects. We want to get calves in the spring and chickens as well. We have high hopes for our garden next year. This do it now philosophy doesn't just have to apply to gardening and farming. You may not even be interested in gardening or farming. It can apply to any area of your life though. If you want to start a restaurant, don't wait till you have the resources to get a loan, to lease a building. Go ahead and find a spot in a local kitchen, a certified kitchen, and start selling food. Maybe you can upgrade to a food truck and then you'll be in the restaurant business. The very fact that you're seeing this video right now is evidence that we started to embrace this philosophy in our lives. We started vlogging knowing nothing about videography, nothing about video editing. The first video that we made was literally the first video I'd ever edited, and it took us hours and hours and hours, but now we're getting better and better at it. There's something to starting and having momentum towards your goal. You can start small, you can start today. Starting may be planning for you. I don't want to discount the importance of planning. Starting for you may be pulling a notebook out, sitting down this evening, and writing down the things you need to do to achieve your dream. Today we are going to work on transitioning our tiny little garden. A lot of the plants have died, and we're going to take grass clippings and mulch the whole area and clean it up a little bit. Mulching the garden with grass clippings is a really simple thing you can do. Don't discount its significance though in your garden. Putting those grass clippings there are adding a great amount of nitrogen. They're mulching the place, which will prevent weeds from going crazy, and also adding a lot of organic matter, which will one day become part of the soil. I'm going to take this down to the garden here and dump it in. So I took 3 loads just now off that one section. 3 of those swimming pool sized loads. They weighed at least 50 pounds each, so that's 150 pounds of grass I just cut off that today, that little section of yard there. But I've done that about 10 times this summer. That's 1,500 pounds of grass that I've cut on that lawn. That's an incredible amount of production. Now, what can you do with grass, you might ask? Why would you want to produce grass? Grass can be converted into something that you actually want. It can be converted with livestock if you put cows or sheep on your land, but it also can be converted, like I'm doing today, by taking it and putting it where you're gonna grow food. You can turn grass into food in many ways. It's one of the most productive crops that you can grow. For those of you who live for my yard maintenance time lapses, here you go. So now I'm gonna go up to the house, see what Brianna and the kids are doing, and see if I can get the kids to come down and help me spread out all these grass clippings. Hey Oreo, how are you? Boo. 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 Hey Joy, will you help me spread out those grass clippings in the garden?
What's grass clippings?
Come on Grace, come help us. I'm taking this tarp out of here. We were using this for weed control, but we're gonna pull it out now. When you're spreading grass clippings around plants, don't ever let it push up against them, because grass clippings are pretty high in nitrogen. They can get pretty hot, actually literally hot, as they decompose, and they can kind of burn plants. I'm going to remove the grass from 2 bands where we're going to plant just a few fall greens. You want to have your own little garden? You can. You just, right where you're standing. Just dig up some of that dirt so we can plant seeds. So we're done with our little garden transformation. We've added a bunch of organic matter, a bunch of nutrients to the soil here that'll break down and end up joining the soil. And we've got 4 little beds ready for some seeds that we're going to plant later this week or next week. Help get tools, Joy. Get that pitchfork.
Okay.
I'd like to challenge you to get outside today and do your own Do It Now project, or at least sit down with some paper and start planning towards a dream that you've never chased after.